Hello everyone and welcome to Attingham Park. So, I have done a lot more of the soybean harvesting off camera. I've also done some other stuff which you're going to find out about in a minute. But first of all, we do need to get this soybean harvest done. Now, if I head over to here, you can see I've currently got just under 41,000, which is worth about £46,500. If we wait for the best time, it's worth 91,000, so we will be doing that. So we need to get into here, and I don't want to start immediately a time lapse, so I'm going to tell you about what I've been up to in between episodes. And I'm also going to show you this amazing puddle that has appeared in the middle of the field. You can see it up ahead. It's going to come into view properly very soon. Now, what I've been up to. We talked very briefly at the end of the last episode about the possibility of doing a sugar beet harvest. There was also a corn harvest and a soybean. In fact, there were two beet harvests. One was enormous, worth £57,000. There's a reason for that, because it's a job and a half. Sort of job you probably want to do on multiplayer, really. But there was a second soybean harvest, which was a bit smaller. It was £10,000, and it's in the field just near to us, field 28, which is currently flashing. Now, there were some other flashing fields there, and that's because I took a soybean harvest contract and also a corn harvest contract, and I have completed the soybean harvest, almost. Got one small step to do with you guys on camera. And the corn harvest is about a third done. The corn is yielding incredibly well. So what does this mean for us? Well, it means my time is set wrong. It means we're going to get this soybean field finished today. That is our main task, is to finish the soybean harvest here. We also need, by the end of today, to get our wheat planted. Now, obviously, we're not going to have time to do everything. So today is going to be split into two parts, which means I will be modifying time if I have to keep things going. But the first part is going to be, from now until about 1 o'clock-ish, and that is going to be harvesting. This is what I'm going to call Harvest Mayhem. We've just got to get lots and lots of harvesting done. Now, we're not going to get it all done on camera, because there's a cat meowing in the background. He decides to do it the moment I start recording. The reason we're not going to do it all on camera is because there's just too much. The beet harvest is going to take ages, and the corn harvest is taking quite a while. Now, I could put the corn harvest onto a worker, but if I do that, well, things get tricky because the harvester gets full really, really quickly. So what I think I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to put this guy onto a worker. So I'm going to get to the end of this row, and then we'll unload into the trailer, and then we're going to put him on a worker, and we can head over to the corn harvester, and as soon as the worker is finished in here, we'll stop the corn harvesting. That's going to be the way we do it. It is going to be a time lapse in the corn harvest, because I'm going to have to be jumping back and forth to come over here and unload this guy whenever needed. So yeah, it's going to be a time lapse of corn harvesting with a little bit of soybean transporting mixed in. So we're almost ready. Nice. The good thing, of course, is that the corn, the harvester they've given me for the corn contract does have GPS, which makes my life much, much easier. So let's get this guy unloaded. I am very happy with how this field has yielded as well. It's a big field, but still, this is a good yield. But I don't know what I'm going to put in next year. I think what we're going to do over winter is we're actually going to get the field prepared, so we'll probably lime it and then put in a cover crop. So let's get this guy cracking. There we go. I can now drop out, and I'm going to go over to the corn harvester, but first I need to go check on that cat. So here we are. You can see the size of the field. I think it's about a third done. We go to the contract down here. So that's the corn contract. 47%. Now, 3 of those large trailers is going to complete the job, and I think it's 1.5 of the auger wagons that fills the large trailer. So that is our aim. Now, everything here is set up, so we're going to launch immediately into a time lapse. Don't worry if I start jumping all over the place, it's just because I need to go and empty out the guy, the harvester, the worker. Right, off we go.
Won't you sing out your frustration? Just say a word. Keep on staring at the pavement. God knows who hurt. Ooh, your mind is a ghost town, echoing inside your walls, 5 feet underground now. Nothing's gonna save us from our doubts. Nothing's gonna make us spell it out. I don't wanna be the one who said, oh, I told you so. And even if the sky was falling down, you never noticed anyone around. I don't wanna be the one who said, oh, I told you so. But I told you so. Keep on acting out like strangers. Scream out loud. I will go if nothing changes. So change your heart. Ooh, your mind is a ghost town, echoing inside your walls, 5 feet underground now. Nothing's gonna save us from our doubts. Nothing's gonna make us spell it out. I don't wanna be the one who said, oh, I told you so. But I told you so. My kingdom on lockdown. You never give me any chance. Watch me on my way out. Nothing's gonna save us from our doubts. Nothing's gonna make us spell it out. I don't wanna be the one who said, oh, I told you so. But I told you so.
So I just got a message that the AI worker has finished their job. I have jumped into the harvester and immediately found a small patch where they missed. So I'll quickly grab that. This is our field, so I'm not wasting a single drop. Although, apparently, it wasn't even enough to register. But this is good news, because we can now return this harvester. Although I did say we'd keep it, didn't I? Yeah, I did. But I also saw that there was a Dominator 85 that has been added, because I updated this mod, and there's a new Dominator. So this is the 105. Oh yeah, there's an 85 as well. Wow. So we need to have a look at how much it's going to cost to keep this guy. So if I go into my leased items, if I was to purchase this, it would cost 36489. Okay. What's on sale? No, nothing useful. And how much would it cost to just buy it new? 36500. Okay, so I could basically just buy it new. It's stupid to keep it. So as soon as we finish here, we will return it then. No sense in messing around and keeping it. We don't have any more harvesting to do because the corn is going to be done with a forage harvester. So let's get the header returned. This was a very, very nice harvester though. I was very pleased to use it. So we return that as well. Right, now let's get over and drop this off, and then we can complete our first contract. Now, the reason I say that is because I wanted to get everything from our field into the bunker, the silo, before I then completed the soybean contract, because that way we can see exactly how much we made from this field in terms of yield before I then go and tip extra into it. If I tipped the extra in, I would not have a clue how much we got. Which reminds me, oh, my pedals are starting to stick. I need to give them a clean tomorrow, I think. It's going to be a job. So if I quickly head to... where am I supposed to be going? Where did I want to go? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I know. Right, field 25, this one. So, oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Right, this is a lesson to anyone who's stupid like me. Take it off cruise control before you do stuff like that. Really, really dangerous. Almost crashed and made a mess. So 8222. We've done really, really well out of that field. Considering it also had a complete lack of pH. Yeah, pH. Nitrogen was fine, but the pH level was terrible, and we still managed to do a pretty good job. What do you mean? No, I'm not tipping it by here. What are you talking about? I guess it's registering the silo by here, which is not particularly real, because the silo is actually all the way around here. Ah, no, it was recognising that I could tip it to the cows, because the cows take soybeans. Ah, that makes sense. But yeah, the cows are not having these soybeans. These are worth far too much for me to feed them to cows. My goodness, what a ridiculous idea, feeding our expensive soybeans to the cows. That's a crazy idea. Right, so let's just go and shift this guy over here to get him out of the way. And how much did we get then? Soybeans 49163, so just under 50,000 litres, worth £56,000 at the moment. It will be worth 109,000 in the end. Now let's tab. That harvester is done. This is the one I use for the soybean field. This is what is left of that soybean field. So there isn't much to tip. So I'm going to have to be pretty quick with the fill button. Start. As soon as I see the money move. As soon as I see the money move. There we go. Oh no, that was 88. Oh, it confused me. No. There we go. Now it's finished. So 5652. Oh. That is barely worth keeping. Oh, let's just sell it. I was going to keep it because I was hoping we were going to have a lot more. But yeah, it's not really worth keeping. So we'll just get rid of it. Gives us a nice boost anyway. So 6438. Cool. So now I can head to the contracts and I can complete this one. So we're going to get 10193. Awesome. So the corn is currently at 57. The sugar beet I haven't even started. So we're now on 28240. Right. So much tabbing has to be done. There is still a good portion of this field left to do. But I don't want this episode to drag on to constant time lapses, so I think what we're going to do now is we're going to take this guy. He's got to go all the way down to basically our field, to our yard. Oops, wrong direction. So I'm going to have to do that journey because it's a long journey. I wish map makers would consider where they put stuff. Right. This is ridiculous. Map makers don't seem to think about the fact that you have to be able to get vehicles there. Right. Now will that turn on? Just need to unfold the harvester. Right, I'm going to get down to the field. I'm going to take... That tractor is not going to pull that. That's ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to get over to the field anyway. Right, I'm getting everything unfolded. This is the field we need to work in. And of course I've got to take headlands off first, which is always the trickiest part, I find. So, oops, try not to crush their crop. That's another soybean contract we could do, but I think we're done now. We're done with contracts for harvesting. Once we finish this, this will be everything. This will be enough. And the reason I'm interested in sugar beet is because I can feed sugar beet to the sheep. Now I can also feed cut sugar beet to the sheep, and I can also use cut sugar beet, of course. Can I hit the tree? I can use cut sugar beet to work this to put into the silage. I'm going to have to do some slightly strange manoeuvres here. I'll have to come back for that bit. Yeah. So sugar beet is great, just because the uses that I have for it. So having spare, which I'm hoping we're going to get a decent amount spare out of this, but having spare is fantastic. Now there's not enough room to turn around, so we're going to have to back up all the way, do another headland. This is the problem with sugar beet monsters and potato monsters. They are massive machines and they don't leave you much room to turn round. Even with all-wheel steering on, it's still quite tricky. So, start again. And I will continue with the corn harvest, but just not yet. Move over to the sugar beet, I think. Get a bit of sugar beet done. And regarding the trailer, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the trailer they gave me to fill, but then I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to use the T9 I've got for the corn harvest. T9 or T7 I think it is. I'm going to use that to actually pull the trailer, because that weak little thing they gave me is not going to do much good. I'd be amazed if it managed to pull the trailer at all. For the soybean harvest they gave me a little Kubota, the one that you saw just now when I was emptying, which is fine, a little Kubota will work, but they gave me 2 trailers with a total of, I think, 45,000 litre capacity. that little Kubota does not pull that. And I'm sorry, I'm being a bit unrealistic now, because I don't want to have to keep reversing back. It's getting silly now. Yeah, it was not possible at all to actually do that job with those trailers, so I had to instead just use one trailer. Now this is another job that's going to be quite long, so we're not going to do the whole thing. I think I'm going to now vanish to get some headlands cut, make enough room to be able to turn in the field, and once I'm back we will then do a bit of real time and a bit of time lapse. So I'll see you in a sec. So I did actually want to do a little bit more of this field on camera, but it turns out we've actually only got about 3 minutes left of the episode, and I don't want to have a really long episode because this day is going to be continuing in the next one. So what we're going to do is going to launch into a time lapse. Not sure how much we're going to get done, but we're going to do 3 minutes of time lapse and see how much work we can finish. So see you when we're there.
Drown yourself in the neon. You came to this place to hide away in the dark. You tell yourself you need to move on, but one night in the shadows can't ease your broken heart. They turn the volume up, you shut your mind. Wanna escape your thoughts for a little while, but when you close your eyes, I'm by your side, I'm by your side, right? You'll find me there dancing in the crowd. You tell yourself that it's over, but you see my face on all the strangers though. So are you sure that it's over? When you close your eyes, I'm by your side, babe. When you close your eyes, I'm on your mind, babe. You'll find me there dancing in the crowd. You tell yourself that it's over. Drown yourself in the smoke, babe. You came to this place to hide away for a while, but we both know that when it gets late, one call away and then you are spending the night. They turn the volume up, you shut your mind. Wanna escape your thoughts for a little while, but when you close your eyes, I'm by your side, I'm by your side, right? You'll find me there dancing in the crowd. You tell yourself that it's over, but you see my face on all the strangers though. So are you sure that it's over? When you close your eyes, I'm by your side, babe. When you close your eyes, I'm on your mind, babe. You'll find me there dancing in the crowd. You tell yourself that it's over. It's not over. It's not over. It's not over. It's not over yet. It's not over. It's not over. It's not over. It's not over yet. You'll find me there dancing in the crowd. You tell yourself that it's over. It's not over, but you see my face on all the strangers though. So are you sure that it's over? It's not over. When you close your eyes, I'm by your side, babe. When you close your eyes, I'm on your mind, babe. You'll find me there dancing in the crowd. You tell yourself that it's over.
We have slightly overrun, but only a very small amount. So we're now going to get the last 10,000 litres of space in here filled up. I am impressed that this tractor pulls this trailer, even when it's only half full. It's still pretty heavy, but it is a struggle. You can feel it for certain. So get him filled up, I haven't been doing this very realistically, as you noticed, because I drove in the crop to fill previously. Right, now we've got to go to sweet potato, which is all the way up in the top right. I will see you up there. Welcome to sweet potato, everyone. This is where we are delivering sugar beets. Yes, we're delivering sugar beet to sweet potato, but never mind. Never mind about that. So, let's get this guy in. Hopefully he's not going to hit a wall. He's not, so we can get him unloaded. Each of these trailers is 18%, so I think at the end of this we should be on 70%, roughly, of delivered. But we'll see in a second. 74%, nice. Okay, well, that is us done for today. Oh, I've got a crane view. I didn't know about that. Interesting. So yeah, I'm going to get a bit of work on these harvests done off camera, but I will see you next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.